Where do we go when we sleep? What are dreams but echoes of trauma that we register beneath the black stillness of nothing? We are nothing. Sinster Narratives presents
Sherlock Holmes and Juan Watson, The Case of Luna Del Mar. The Hollywood Boulevard's shimmering lights laid the groundwork for another evening of celebrations and events. But not too far away, darker tales whispered in forgotten alleyways, beyond the homeless camps riddled with dirty syringes and fentanyl, where dreams faded faster than they were made. Luna Del Mar, a stunning vision even in distress, paced in her open-toed Balenciaga boots in her palatial Malibu mansion. She massaged her brow with one hand and sipped her grande pumpkin-spiced latte in the other. "This is so sucky. I can't even," she lamented. The LAPD officers, overwhelmed by her aura, exchanged puzzled glances. "Hey you, Miss Little Thing. We didn't find nothing. We scoped the place out." "You're shitting me?" she inquired. "Those things are priceless." An officer shrugged and she took offense. Luna Del Mar sized him up and spat. "My grandma's pearls are worth more than you and your iPad babies will ever make in 10 lifetimes. Dr. Juan Watson, once a respected doctor who quit during the COVID pandemic due to overworked conditions and lack of overtime, now navigated LA's sunlit streets, advertising his services on TikTok and Groupon. His phone rang. Quack, quack, quack. He answered and heard, "Watson, it's me." "Sherlock," Watson replied, recognizing the terse tone. "What's happening?" "Lend me your expertise, or rather your fiancé," said Sherlock. "Ex-fiancé." "I know," Sherlock chuckled. "Never liked that floozy anyway. She was on Insta liking my thirst traps past midnight. Probably because you were tempting her. Even worse." Sherlock sighed. "Those were for a case. I told you already." "Yeah. How is that going for you?" "It's a work in progress. Can't rush perfection." "Uh-huh." Watson pried. "I mean, have you been paid for your services?" Sherlock cleared his throat. "Like I said, work in progress. Now, about your expertise?" Watson grumbled. "I'm on my way." Walking into Holmes's sleek penthouse, Watson's eyes immediately darted to the incriminating setup on the coffee table. Vials, needles, and the haunting presence of fentanyl. He swallowed hard. "Sherlock, what have you tangled with?" Before Holmes could reply, the doors flung open, revealing a distraught Luna Del Mar who could barely walk in knee-high stilettos. "Mr. Holmes," she began, her voice a medley of charm and despair. "The piece isn't just a necklace. It's my family's legacy. It was with me all evening. Close to my heart." She motioned to her décolletage. "But after the toast, right here in this hall, around all of these people, it vanished. I felt a cold rush of air, a shadow brushed past me, and then it was gone." "You sure you weren't standing below the AC?" Sherlock asked, eyeing her décolletage. She gave him a sharp look and he cleared his throat. "You have a beautiful heart. Breathtaking." Holmes's eyes, despite the evident weight of his addiction, displayed that old spark of intrigue. "Interesting. A theft under everyone's nose. And no one saw a thing?" Luna nodded, eyes glistening. "Only shadows and empty glasses. Like fucking shit, right?" As Holmes delved deeper into Hollywood's labyrinthine secrets, Watson, ever the protector, voiced his fears. "Sherlock, this city and its allure, it's treacherous." Holmes glanced out at the sprawling city lights. "Isn't that the very nature of allure, Watson? Besides, you're from the El Barrio, Juanito. Nothing you can't handle." As days melted into nights, Holmes's fascination with Luna's case grew. He became a regular on the Hollywood scene. Cocktail parties where secrets flowed more freely than the drinks. Underground clubs where the boundaries of law completely blurred, and sunset soirees where the horizon wasn't the only thing that was hazy. LA's elite, Holmes mused to Watson one evening, looking out at the city's skyline. They live their lives in the limelight, but do their deeds in the shadows. City of angels. Fallen angels, his friend corrected. Watson, always the voice of caution, muttered, "In this city, even shadows have teeth." But Holmes was on the scent. "It's not a simple theft, Watson. There's a pattern. Not just Luna's necklace, but several artifacts have gone missing after these grand events." Watson's brow furrowed. "An organized ring?" "Precisely. Where do you go when you want to hide in plain sight?" Holmes paused, pulling up an Instagram story on his sleek tablet. It was a short clip, fleeting glimpses of an ornate room, glittering chandeliers, and in the background, a hint of the missing necklace. The post was cryptic, a single line, "In plain sight, yet unseen." The detective's fingers danced on the screen. "This was posted anonymously, but it's not the work of a common thief, Juanito. This reeks of an insider." "Don't call me Juanito," Watson grumbled. "My little John," Sherlock smirked. Watson leaned in, the gravity of Holmes's words sinking in. "Someone within the circle of trust." Holmes nodded, eyes sharp. "And we must find them before another piece of history disappears into the LA night." The duo now stood at the crossroads. While Holmes grappled with the challenge of the case and the chains of his addiction, Watson battled to keep him grounded. The City of Stars beckoned them deeper into its secrets, and as the famous LA haze settled, the line between truth and deception grew ever fainter. Holmes's investigations led him down an unexpected rabbit hole, deep into the underbelly of Hollywood. Behind the facades of stardom and opulence, he uncovered an intricate network of thefts, with high-profile artifacts stolen with such finesse they barely made a ripple in the gossip columns. One evening, at a jazz bar, a sultry tune set the backdrop as Holmes confided in Watson. "The thefts, they're not just for financial gain. Each stolen item is symbolic, chosen with care." Watson sipped his Cuba Libre, his gaze scanning the crowd. "A message? A vendetta?" "Both," Holmes whispered, drawing a pattern on the cocktail napkin, his hands shaking terribly. "They're symbols of old Hollywood, legacy pieces from families rooted deep in the film industry's golden era. Their discoveries were not without peril. Each new piece of the puzzle put them closer to danger." Watson, ever observant, couldn't help but notice Holmes's dwindling health and heightened erraticism. "Sherlock," he urged one night, "you're pushing too hard. And the fentanyl." Holmes silenced him with a glance. "Now's not the time, Watson." Watson snatched Sherlock's arm. They locked eyes, and Watson pulled up his sleeve, tearing the buttons. 3 dirty patches clung to Sherlock's wiry arm. "Those synthetic opioids are 50 times more potent than heroin. You know that, right, Sherlock?" "My doctor prescribed those to me. Thank you very much," Sherlock snapped. "I'm your doctor," Watson roared. But time was running out. A mysterious invitation to an exclusive party at a private Hollywood Hills residence arrived. The kind of place where business deals and secrets intermingled under moonlit skies. With a plan in place, Holmes and Watson were ready. The night of the operation, the grandeur of the Hollywood Hills mansion was palpable. Chandeliers sparkled, reflecting off the pool's serene surface as whispers of deals and dramas filled the air. Holmes, in disguise, maneuvered through the crowd, his senses heightened. He could feel the pulse of the room, the ebb and flow of its secrets. Suddenly, a hushed commotion caught his attention. Following the source, he stumbled upon a secluded room. There, in a locked glass cabinet, lay Luna's necklace, gleaming under the soft light. But Holmes wasn't alone. From the shadows emerged a figure, poised with intent. "I thought you might find your way here," the stranger smirked. Holmes, momentarily distracted by withdrawal pangs, was a step slower. As they grappled, the detective's strength waned. Just when it seemed the shadowy assailant would prevail, Watson, ever vigilant, burst in, landing a well-placed punch. Reeling from the confrontation, the duo quickly secured the necklace. As they made their escape, Holmes whispered, "It's all becoming clear now, Watson. Hollywood's forgotten tales are resurfacing." But as the hills receded behind them, the weight of their discoveries and Holmes's struggles cast long, looming shadows. They had uncovered the secrets of Hollywood's elite, but at a cost neither had anticipated. The morning after, ensconced in Holmes's penthouse, the duo confronted their captive, the shadowy assailant from the previous night. To their surprise, the man wasn't a hardened criminal, but rather a refined figure in a perfectly tailored suit. It was none other than Elliot Gray, Luna's manager and a notable power player in Hollywood. "You've played a dangerous game, Mr. Gray," Holmes began, a hint of fatigue evident in his voice. His sleepless eyes made him indistinguishable from a madman. Gray met his gaze. "It was never about the money or the fame. It was about respect. Luna's family represents a new Hollywood, ignorant and dismissive of its foundational pillars." Luna, standing at the doorway in her Gianvito Rossi gold-heeled sandals, her face a mask of betrayal, whispered, "Why, Elliot, you scumbag, you were my champion, my dude." "Because," Gray's voice quivered, "the city, the industry, forgot the sacrifices of those who paved their way. Each stolen artifact was a token, a reminder of a legacy that's been shit on by big tech money, social media influencers, and do-nothing celebrities. Is that what you think of me? I'm not a do-nothing celebrity." "Not you, Luna. You're talented, a real fucking star. I founded my designer perfume and custom Crocs after my second Oscar nom, dipshit. I know, Luna. I was there." He frantically searched for the words and settled on, "It's not you. It's the idea of you." "What the fuck?" Luna stormed out. Sherlock, flustered that Luna had left, chirped out, "You have a beautiful heart. Breathtaking." While Gray's confession saw him facing legal consequences, it also unveiled deeper fissures within the Hollywood community. The city's elite was forced to confront the uncomfortable truths about their legacy. They were an endangered species themselves. Holmes, having unraveled the mystery, should have basked in the satisfaction of another case closed, a case that paid actual money, instead of the transaction failing as it does at time. But the price had been steep. The seductive allure of LA, intertwined with his personal demons, left him raw and vulnerable. The lines on his face seemed deeper, the weight in his eyes heavier. A few days later, Watson entered the penthouse, hoping to discuss their next move, only to find an empty room. "Sherlock," Watson cried. His trembling voice echoed in the empty halls. The silence was punctuated by an open journal on the table. Flipping through its pages, he found a letter addressed to him. "Watson, the City of Angels has shown me its devils. The duality of its nature, much like my own, has taken its toll. I need to seek solace, a place where I can grapple with the shadows without the glaring lights. LA has taught me much, but it's time I depart from its lessons. Yours in perpetual quest, Sherlock." Watson, clutching the journal, felt a pang of loss. The city's shimmering facade had, in its own way, claimed another. But the story of Sherlock Holmes was far from over, even if its latest chapter had ended on a melancholic note. If you made it this far, please like and subscribe for more thrilling and spooky tales. It means so much. Stay beautiful.